Good morning. Today on Spotlight, inside an organization designed to help grow new entrepreneurs. Millie Chu, CEO of Global Entrepreneurship Business Lab, will share her story and the roadmap for success. And later on our Sunday morning program, Christopher Merlot and L. Glenn O'Cray will tell us why they co-edited a new award-winning book about Dearborn homes called Stories from the Sidewalk. It's Sunday, December the 17th. I'm Chuck Stokes, and this is Spotlight. Millie Chu, how did you get involved and interested in entrepreneurship?
Well, it actually started decades ago when my family came here from China. So we immigrated here and it was just me, my sister, and my brother on the way.
Yeah.
So my mom...
You were a little girl then?
Yeah, I was a little girl. I was about 4 years old, so very young. And then so we came to the US at that time. Didn't have much more than the clothes on our backs and a few dollars in our pocket. So we didn't come from money. You know, we came here
Came here for better opportunities?
Absolutely, to strive for the American dream. Because they're immigrants, they don't have money saved up, they don't have equity, and they don't have a US educated background. So it's really hard for them to be able to create a livelihood for themselves. So they turned to entrepreneurship. So after they put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into saving money, because a lot of banks would not loan to them because they didn't have equity, they didn't have a credit score. So they saved money for about over 7 years and worked multiple jobs to be able to put some money down to start their own business. So by the time I was 11 years old, I became the child translator for my parents. I didn't have a very normal childhood. It was more so I had a role, to learn how to do this and help my parents, because this was gonna be the way we would survive and be able to put food on the table and a roof over our heads.
That experience, having to do that on behalf of the family, would become your life passion as well.
Absolutely, because I saw how much they poured into it, literally blood, sweat, and tears, that to try to make it out on their own because they didn't have access to any resources. So that led me to do what I'm doing now at Global Entrepreneurship Business Lab, is to really help people like mine.
Of which you're the Chief Executive Officer.
Absolutely, yep. So I want to help people who started like my family, who did not have access to resources.
So if I walked up to you, Millie Chu, on the street, and I said, tell me, what exactly does your organization do? And I've got about 30 seconds for you to give me a quick capsule. What would you say?
We transform communities through inclusive entrepreneurship and workforce empowerment. So we work with partners such as government organizations, economic development organizations, NGOs, nonprofits, higher education organizations, to help them develop inclusive entrepreneurship and workforce programs to strengthen communities.
You've been successful. Talk a little bit about your success, some of the organizations that you've worked with and some of the businesses, because some of them are small, but some of them are big.
Yeah, so absolutely. So we started just 3 years ago, and since then, we haven't been able to take a breath yet, but it's a good thing.
That's good news.
It's good news, good news. So we work with organizations like the Michigan SBDC as contractors, and we created the initiative Uplift Michigan, which is to close the gap in inclusion for entrepreneurs. So especially people of color, those who are from underserved, underrepresented backgrounds, to develop a statewide program that is to specifically benefit them. So small businesses who are businesses of color, who are refugees, who are veterans, disabled, and all those who are part of that historically underrepresented groups can gain access, to the resources available to start their businesses and create a successful livelihood for themselves. In addition, we worked with organizations such as the University of Michigan William Davison Institute, and some of that goes into our global work. And this was actually when this was just a side hustle for me, but my side hustle now became a full-time hustle. But we worked with refugees in the Middle East, those who have lost their homes, went through just traumatic tragedies, and so we developed several courses, a couple dozen courses that would help educate them to start their businesses, and we were able to help hundreds of folks over in the Middle East.
All right, I'm gonna let you take a quick little pause, have a little grab
Thank you.
water there. We're gonna take a little break. We'll come right back and we'll drill down on some specifics so that people understand how they can get involved with your organization.
Great.
If they're interested in becoming the next entrepreneur.
Awesome.
We'll be
Wonderful.
right
Thank
back.
you.
Stay with us. And welcome back to Spotlight. Millie Chu, what kind of tools do underrepresented populations need in order to get started, prosper, and be successful long term?
That's a great question. There's so many things, right, that are important, but all of our programs and our training and our strategy is designed to help them with access, community connections, and also empower them with the tools and education necessary, provide them with resources, as well as techniques to maintain sustainability for their business. So to reach all of that, we look at each different region throughout the state or throughout that region that we're trying to assist and look at the population and what they actually really need so we can customize that approach. So then we design that training and that strategy so it can really be receptive to that population. And so that again is like the education and training and the connections that they need, and also access to funding. So a lot of times, funding and how to get customers is the two biggest things that's the struggle, for small business.
Yeah, because you can have a dream, but if you don't have access to that capital,
absolutely,
that dream could dry up very quickly.
Absolutely, that's exactly right. You hit the nail on the head with that. And when the pandemic hit, we saw the statistics that people of color, businesses owned by people of color, were the least funded groups. So, that's why this initiative and what we do at Global Entrepreneurship Business Lab is so important, because there's, we want to open the doors to that access. We want to help folks prepare for those applications so it can improve their chances on getting funding for their business.
Sure. If people are interested in getting access to the information that you have, how do they reach you?
They can reach me by going to our website, www.globalbusinesslab.org. There's a contact form, and they can fill that out and let us know what they need.
Millie Chu, how does our overall society benefit from these new entrepreneurs, many of them new immigrants to this country?
We benefit from multiple ways, but not just economically, because a lot of institutions look at we bring in businesses, we get to increase our what we gain in taxes, and and also economic and trade also improves and increases around that community, and all the quantitative aspects are great, but what I see as the most beneficial is the humanitarian part. We get to change lives in families generationally, and it's not just about the dollar signs, which is great, but it's about creating real, meaningful lives and fulfilling lives for families who didn't get a chance to. Historically, a lot of people that were in our state that are leaving our state because maybe they feel like they lack opportunity, and they might have a hard time finding jobs and keeping their businesses open. But so we have to create an attractive state so they want to come back to Michigan to open their businesses, to get jobs, and so overall it contributes to the wealth of our state, our economy, and also the lives of the people who live here.
And I'm sure this is something that we're going to hear a lot more about in the governor's upcoming State of the State address in 2024 about ways to grow Michigan's population. Millie Chu, thanks so much for coming in. Best of luck. We'll stay in touch with you. And happy holidays.
Thank you.
And when Spotlight returns, I'll sit down with the co-editors, Christopher Merlot and L. Glenn O'Cray, about a brand new book in Dearborn about historic homes. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Spotlight. Joining me now is Christopher Merlot and L. Glenn O'Cray, and they are the co-editors of a brand new book. It's called Stories from the Sidewalk, and we'll talk about that today on Spotlight. Gentlemen, thanks for joining me today on Spotlight. Good seeing both of you. All right, I'm going to start with you, Mr. Merlot. How in the world did this all get started? First of all, it's a heavy book.
It's
not something you want to put in your hip pocket.
No, it's like 378 pages, right?
Yes.
It documents over about 361 historic houses and buildings in two Dearborn neighborhoods, the Arsenal neighborhood and the Riverbend neighborhood. So.
All right. And for people who aren't as familiar with Dearborn, maybe they live way over in Macomb County or somewhere like that, describe what area that is.
So that's like where the Rouge River meets the Michigan Avenue. So the neighborhoods between Outer Drive and and a street called Brady, Michigan Avenue, and Cherry Hill.
Okay. And you got started on this just by taking a walk one day, is that what I hear?
Yeah, walking by Glenn's house goes on my walking route, and I started up a conversation with Glenn, and he asked me if I wanted to get involved with a history group, and I said sure, and here we are 4 years later, and still involved with the group. It's now called Preservation Dearborn, and the book is the result of our efforts.
Okay. So. Mr. O'Cray, how did this get in your head that you wanted to do this?
Well, what we are trying to do is preserve our neighborhood. We have a lot of historic homes, and we said, we don't have anything on the books that will preserve these homes. So this was a beginning step, in effect, to have the city change its ordinance to be updated so that everything is in place so that we can have the state recognize us as a historic neighborhood. We had a research team called the Gang of Nine, and they worked for 3 years to glue this together.
The title of the book, Stories from the Sidewalk, of course, but the book was designed that, number one, with the premise that every historic house or building has a story to tell. And also the book is organized as though a walking tour, so that where the sidewalk comes into place. So we photographed houses from the sidewalk, so a frontal photograph of most homes. And then the idea is we organize the book by street address and by street. So basically it's a tour. One of the people that we discovered lived in one of the homes that we researched was a gentleman named Charles Smith. His friends called him CJ. He worked for Ford Motor Company. He was something of I would say, an engineering genius. He was one of 7 people, along with Henry Ford, who developed the Model T. So,
wow, that's a lot of history.
Yeah.
Mr. O'Cray, do you have a favorite story or a favorite house or favorites?
We have several, but let me start with kind of the foundation, and that is the Commandant's quarters. At one time, there was an arsenal in this neighborhood. It was moved from Detroit to Dearborn, and the only remaining building that is used for historical purposes right now is the Commandant's quarters. So it was, in effect, the residence of the head of the arsenal. It was built in 1833. It served a lot of purposes, and right now it's part of the Dearborn Historical Museum. And about a block from there was a home owned by William Ford, who was Henry's brother. They had kind of an unusual relationship. They didn't always get along. Clara,
You're being diplomatic, okay, and nice.
Clara, Henry's wife, did not particularly like William. So I think one of the issues is that William was considered the friendliest guy in the town, and he became the president of the village along the way. So it's kind of cool to have somebody who is tied to Henry, who is influential because of his political involvement.
Sure. Well, the houses have history, families have history.
Right.
We're going to take a little break. We'll come right back and we'll pick up and we'll talk more about stories from the sidewalk. We'll be right back. Stay with us. And welcome back to Spotlight, talking to Christopher Merlot and L. Glenn O'Cray. And it's good having you on our show today. The book is called Stories from the Sidewalk, and it centers on a couple neighborhoods in Dearborn, historic neighborhoods. The proceeds. Well, you all didn't write this to make money, right?
No.
No, you're not going to get rich off this.
Not for us, but for the Dearborn Historical Museum.
So all the proceeds go to Dearborn Historical Museum?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Both of you would describe yourselves as history buffs?
Definitely, yeah.
Talk
yeah.
a little, just briefly, a little bit about your background so people understand.
Well, I have a degree in history of art and English from the U of M, and I work as a freelance writer in corporate communications.
Okay, all right. And you spent some time doing some stuff with Ford Motor Company.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Okay. Mr. O'Cray?
I had been director of financial aid at Henry Ford Community College, and then I was an adjunct instructor and taught a class called College Success. My real claim to fame is that my wife and I have been married for 57 joyous years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And we've not had one murder in the household, and we're very proud of that.
well, we're good, because that would indeed be a story in that house, and we don't want those type of stories. We should also say that you recently won an award from the Historical Society of Michigan as Best Book Private Printing. Correct?
We are so proud of that. We could not ask for a greater recognition than having that.
Yeah. All right. Couple more stories. You've got a couple that you want to tell. There's one that I understand is tied closely to our history here at Channel 7.
Yes.
And we just celebrated our 75th anniversary.
We have the Clyde Adler House, an unsung hero. He was the puppeteer for Soupy Sales that Channel 7 had on for many years.
Yes, yeah.
He played White Fang and Blacktooth. So this neighborhood is of significance, if for no other reason than that.
Well, that's near and dear to our history and our heart here at Channel 7. And of course, Soupy was one of the people that helped build the reputation of this place and put it on the map.
There was a gentleman, Francis Gell, who lives in the Riverbend neighborhood, was Thomas Edison's last surviving lab assistant. He was at Thomas Edison's side the night of 1879 when the first Edison light bulb was lit. Henry Ford then hired Francis to oversee the recreation of Menlo Lab in Greenfield Village once he had moved it from New Jersey to Dearborn. And so then in 1929, Francis, Henry Ford, Herbert Hoover, and Thomas Edison came together in Menlo Lab at Greenfield Village to recreate that momentous lighting of the first light bulb of Thomas Edison's.
Right.
So between C.J. Smith and Francis Gell, we have two individuals who basically participated in events that changed the history of the world.
Absolutely. Let me ask the two of you, maybe give me both of your perspectives in a little bit of time we have left. Dearborn is one of our oldest neighborhoods. It's a city with a lot of history, and it's a very changing neighborhood now from what its history was 50 years ago, 100 years or so ago, and it's in the news a lot. Why is it important to have this kind of history documented in book for a neighborhood that is indeed changing? I imagine you talk about this on your cable show from time to time with the historians that you interview.
I think it's important that we preserve history to give us a sense of where we are, where we've been, and where we should go. I think Dearborn is a forward-looking city. I'm saddened by a lot of things that happened in the past, but we have a bright future, and we want to retain a sense of the past as well.
Right, right. And one of the things that you got some recognition from was the city of Dearborn and the mayor, and that's part of your press packet here, and your new mayor.
Right,
right.
Yeah. Dearborn.
Right.
Yeah.
Mayor Hammoud.
Absolutely, yeah. Used to be in the state legislature.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, right.
Now he's chief executive officer.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to answer that question?
Definitely. You know, we look at the book as preserving the legacy of the history of Dearborn, and part of the concern, as Glenn talked about, is our effort to update the historic district ordinance in Dearborn, because Dearborn is changing. It's growing. Some of these homes are being demolished, torn down. The William Ford home that Glenn brought up was moved from a block to another block because all the homes that were there were torn down and condominiums were built in their place. Someone wanted to preserve the William Ford house and moved it. Sure. Some of the houses we're talking about today, even the C.J. Smith house, is now in an area that's being rezoned and could possibly be torn down as well. My fear, our fear, is that once these houses are torn down, the story is gone, right? It's lost to history. So one of the great points of this book is hopefully if the house is torn down, at least we'll have a historical record.
All right. Christopher, Glenn, thanks so much for coming in, sharing these stories with us, sharing this book. It would make a nice Christmas gift as well.
Stocking stuffer.
Nice stocking, yeah, but you better have a pretty big stocking.
Yeah.
Once again, it's called Stories from the Sidewalk, and by Christopher Merlot and L. Glenn O'Cray. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
It's been a real pleasure.
It's
Thank you,
been
Chuck.
a pleasure as well. And I'm Chuck Stokes. We'll be back next week with more newsmakers in the spotlight. We hope you have a great week.